Hey everybody, I'm Bob Bakert with Jazz Guitar Today. And before we get started, I'd like to remind you that we need you to subscribe and share and like and follow. It really, really helps us out quite a bit. If you want to help us grow this community, which we've spent, God, we're about 6 years into this now. So we really appreciate that. If you like the programming, please write me a note. It's just Bob Bakert at Jazz, or just Bob, excuse me, just Bob at jazzguitartoday.com. If you got something you'd like to see that we haven't done, we've done we've done so much. Um, or whatever, whatever you got on your mind. Let me know what you think. And we'd appreciate that. Build the community. So we are being joined today by one of our contributors and guitar virtuoso, educator extraordinaire, composer, all-around cool guy, Davy Mooney. Hey, Davy.
Hey everybody. Hey
Hey,
Bob.
the first thing I wanted to say was congratulations on this new recording.
Thank you so much.
Man, I'm going to tell you, I've spent the last several hours with it, and it's really an accomplishment. It's really an achievement. The record that preceded it was called,
Way back.
what was the record with this drummer?
Well, we did a record called Benign
That's the
Strangers in
one I'm talking about.
2018. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. So Benign Strangers, because I want to stay on that theme.
Mhm.
The Benign Strangers was your first collaboration with him, recorded collaboration, right?
Yes, in the studio, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that in 1 second? But before you do that, uh, Bill Milkowski, who is
Oh boy.
yeah, I mean, he's the guy. I mean, I'm not even a Bill Milkowski light. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, he knows more about jazz and
Yeah.
every instrument and every player that ever existed. He's been writing reviews since I guess, the late 60s, early
Hmm.
70s.
And
Knows
books.
everybody, talked to everybody, written the books, thousands and thousands of interviews, knows. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, he's Bill
Sure.
Milkowski. We all bow down to you. You are the guy.
We
And
love
he
you, Bill.
and he gave you a four-star review, which
Yeah.
is his highest, by the way.
Uh-huh.
And down, I guess, he's written for Downbeat and Jazz Times and all, the whole nine yards. And you know, some of the things that he said, um, he's talking about, the I guess people just need to just read this thing. It's hard to take it like in context. He's not really a soundbite guy, but
Mhm.
I mean his review is glowing on this, and it deserves it. I mean, I sat and listened to it and kept listening to it actually, and I'm really, really impressed. Um, Not only, you're playing, and this is really about your composition. Even though you do play for us for sure, there's no question about it.
Oh,
But
sorry.
well, that's all right. But
Electronics making noises.
that's okay. But um, it's just a great piece of work. I got a little bit distracted there. It's just a great piece of work. Um, and the musicians that you have with you
Mhm.
to 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 be able to play these compositions at that with that kind of and feel and precision sometimes are against each other, but in
Mhm.
this case you got definitely a whole lot of both.
Yeah,
um
for sure.
and the beauty, the art, it was just it's a tremendous, tremendous recording. And I really liked the first one that you did with
With
and
Coke.
you would call and but this one's like this is like, I don't want to say sophomore. This is like, that was sophomore. This one's your senior, graduate, I mean, but
Well, it's been
this,
6 years. Hopefully we've gotten better.
yeah, well, it really has. So tell us about
Sure.
this recording, how it happened, the
Yeah.
compositions that are on it. Give us the whole nine yards, and I'm gonna,
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you so much, Bob, for, your kind words. I mean, this is the record. It's called The Word. And yeah, it's the second one I've done in collaboration with Ko Omura, who's a great drummer from the Tokyo area. And also he plays tabla. He studies in India like several months a year. He spends a lot of time in India studying tabla, and he plays piano and composes beautiful, melodies, beautiful tunes. And we first started when my first Sunnyside record, look, I have them all behind me, so I might as well. When this one came out in 2012, Perrier Street, I wanted to kind of get out there and do some touring. And I contacted some friends of mine that I knew at UNT when I was an undergrad here who were in Japan. And I was just like, hey, I was young and crazy at the time. I didn't have kids. So I was like, let's do some gigs. I'll show up, with my guitar and let's play. And these friends hooked me up with Ko. So I've been playing with Ko since 2012. And we did a few tours in Japan. And we played some of his tunes, and I've been cranking out these Sunnyside records like this is number six actually. So since 2012, this is the sixth one. So in 2018, we talked about doing a collaboration, and it was nice too because when the record, it's all my original tunes on these
Right.
records, and sometimes I get kind of sick of myself. And it's just really nice with Ko because our styles of writing are very different, I think very distinctive. And so it's nice to have like this one, it's five of my tunes and five of his tunes. And so was Benign Strangers in 2018.
Yeah.
The records are really different, except for the fact that it's all the exact same people, down to the studio where we did it, and the engineer Michael Perez Cisneros. It's John Ellis on saxophone, who I pretty much always record with. Glenn Zaleski, great pianist. Matt Closey, who I've made all these records with, and me and Ko. And yeah, it's just like it was a really simple, not simple, but a very easy process to record the tunes. And with musicians of the caliber of everybody, they're I mean, I don't want to say they're sight reading the stuff, but they're definitely pretty much sight reading the stuff, and that's how it comes out. They might have looked at it a little bit like, oh, this part's a little hard. Let me look at this. But and yeah, like I said, I feel like in terms of my own performance, I've noticed this just in the last couple of years. It's I feel a little, I guess because I've just made so many records, I'm more happy with, like, I don't hate this one. Usually, I think a lot of musicians are like that, right? They have to hear it so many times when they're mixing it, and they kind of like, I've always felt like, well, I got it right on this one song, but then the rest of it is, I sort of always feel like that when I do a record. This one, it's more, I don't like every single note I played, but it just feels more relaxed and more natural. Like I wasn't overthinking it in
Yeah.
terms of playing.
Yeah, you
So
don't
yeah, I'm
get
really
you
happy
don't
with
get
it.
the sense that you're pressing. Well, let me
Mhm.
say, I just looked at and see how tired I look on screen. I've been making a movie all week, and
You look great, Bob.
I'm
You look
exhausted.
amazing.
Um, but what I will say is that your playing is beautiful on this thing.
Right.
Your tone is wonderful. Your articulation is great. There's that's your seven string you're playing, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's this bad
Your
boy, the
your
Benedetto.
Benedetto, tried and true. It sounds amazing. All of the recording, the engineer just did
Oh yeah.
a fabulous job of getting the sounds. I will say this about this recording. I listen to a lot of stuff, and I don't listen to many studio recordings because I really want to see what people do live in front of people.
Mhm.
And but this recording, I found it very easy to put on
Mhm.
and listen to it, but not in a background music sort of way. I mean,
Mhm.
this was I was front and center, and it just kept me there the whole time. There's just a whole lot of subtle intricacies that go on, and God, the drumming is just nuts.
Yeah, Co's
I mean,
great. It's very
oh my
sensitive.
God. I mean, he's just wonderful. And everybody that plays is, I mean, I mean, you did a beautiful job orchestrating it because nobody is fighting with anybody. There's no,
Mhm.
I mean, it just fits. It's like, you got the baton. It just fits great. So keep talking. I'm tired of me.
No, I mean, yeah, I think that that's true. And I can just say for in terms of the sound, I've learned since I've been playing this Benedetto that a good thing to do is like not don't use any effects or pedals with it because it has such a beautiful tone of its own. And I'm just going through good old like Henriksen Bud, that 6-inch Henriksen
Yeah.
Bud. And I also had a Polytone like mini brute, but I don't know. I was sort of using both of them, and I don't know which one that Michael Perez Cisneros actually used or how he blended them because it sounded really good. So I didn't ask any questions. But it's the same setup I use everywhere. And as I get older, I've found that like I don't need any. I mean, I was never a big pedal person anyway, but I feel like I was kind of pretending to use pedals for a little while just because I felt like I had to. And I guess I've reached the point where I tell everybody I had this Ernie Ball, volume pedal, and what happens with those things is the string inside breaks. And it's like so annoying because it's literally a piece of string, and then there's this kit you can get to try to go in there and fix it.
Yeah.
And I tried, and I threw it in the trash. And I tell people when that string broke in my volume pedal, something broke inside of me too, some string, and I can't use pedals anymore
You
unless I
know,
have to for like a gig that pays a lot of money and they want distortion.
you
So
know,
it's
it's
all,
funny. I look around here. I've got one, two, three, four. I got probably a dozen pedals like behind me.
oh, oh.
And I know pedals pretty well. I'm not. I've messed with them, quite a bit. Uh,
I suck at
I
pedals, Bob. I always have, and I just realized I don't care anymore. It's going to be the
well,
guitar, the amp
my
from now
my
on.
my my point is this: that my guitar never sounds when you're playing clean,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like what we're doing.
Uh-huh.
When you're playing clean, and when I pick up this guitar, which
Yeah.
it never sounds better. I don't care how many freaking pedals you got. It never sounds better than when it's a chord. I've got a Hendrickson amplifier sitting right next to me, right here.
Oh,
Um,
great.
I'm a huge fan of Hendrickson amplifiers,
Me too.
and that I can turn on whatever pedal, all the pedals, and all these things are boutique, expensive stuff. And
Hmm.
that guitar never sounds better than just guitar, chord, amplifier. That's
And it
and
depends on the style you're playing in. I think my style has always been geared more towards the non-pedal thing, but I would try to
right,
play my style with the pedals. I mean, obviously there's
right.
certain things like, and I admire very much people that use them in an artistic way. It's just, I'm not that guy. And and
Well,
I finally learned after 44 years that I'm not that guy.
if I pick up my Telly or my Strat
Yeah,
or
there you go.
this,
Yeah,
then you got to use, it's pedals galore. I mean, I
it
use a
makes
lot of pedals.
sense.
But if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
playing like the style that you play in this
yeah.
recording,
Uh-huh.
the guitar sounds so sweet. That Benedetto
I know.
in that Hendrickson amplifier, it sounds so. I mean, the notes are just. It's perfection. I don't know how you would. I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know how you would make it sound better. I don't know
Well,
what you would do.
I would screw it up if I ran it through like whatever. You would lose
Yeah,
some of the overtones, it would compress the sound. And it took me a
whatever
while to figure this out, but I figured it out
whatever
finally.
mics he's using and distances and everything he's using, it sounds great. And that's true of all of the instruments.
Hmm.
Everything sounds incredibly well. So this is a great recording, people. Get a copy of Davy's recording. It's called The Word on Sunnyside, right?
Yes, Sunnyside Records,
And
number
it's a
6.
it's available, Apple Music and
Where?
all the normal spots. It's out. Everybody's got it. I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, in fact, I sent it off to a friend of mine, Bill Hart, who you may know, may not. Bill Bill was the guitar chair here at the Musicians Institute in Atlanta,
Okay,
and
I'll find out
and
more.
or AIM it's called. It's called Atlanta Institute of Music,
Okay.
and he was there for like 28 years as a teacher. Bill's a
Hmm.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful player. He's up in Montreal right now.
Cool.
But I sent him. You need to listen to this, Bill, because Bill and I we're good friends. And I said you need to listen to this, and he sent back to me a recording of Last Train Home.
Yeah, of the one I did with
Yeah,
Pizzarelli. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
and he said with John Pizzarelli, and he said this is my, I love this version of that tune,
Oh, wow.
and
We did that in
so
2006.
listen, don't let's
Wait a
not go
minute.
there. I'm doing a concert next month, and half of the songs I'm going to do I wrote in 1977.
Okay.
So, and yeah, I can appreciate that. But it sounds great. But what else you want to tell us about this? I want to give you
Sure.
your time. I'm
Well, yeah, just to say that, we are doing some gigs in the States coming up at the beginning of February. I'm going to play at Smalls in New York City. Co is going to be there, and pretty much the band from the CD, although Matt Closey can't make it. So great bass player named Rick Rosato is going to play with us. And
right.
then we're coming, that's February 4th, Tuesday, February 4th at Smalls. And then we're going to come down here to Denton, Texas, and play a few gigs, a concert here at UNT, and also a concert at a place called Steve's Wine Bar. And then I'm actually gonna play in Austin that week too with a different band. But trying, it's complicated, international collaborations. But hopefully later in the year, I'll get to go back to Japan. I haven't been in. Me and Ko actually had a tour booked for the summer of 2020.
Oh
We
well,
had
there you go.
everything. Luckily, I hadn't bought the ticket yet because it was all the dates were booked because that's when everything shut down. And so this is it's been in the works for a while to kind of get back together and continue our collaboration. So luckily, travel is possible.
Have you been
Um,
down to Brazil lately?
oh yeah, I go all the time. We were just there over Christmas
Yeah.
down on the beach, because my wife is from there.
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't actually do any gigs this time. It was kind of a short trip, and it's such a pain. Honestly, like it's such a pain to bring the guitar if I don't have like at least like 3 or 4 gigs. I don't want to like deal with that. It's such a
No, I understand.
nightmare.
Believe
But
me.
hopefully I'll get do some more gigs there because yeah, the last record we did, way back. See, I got on my
Yeah,
my merchandise center with the Brazilian group. That was another one too where I didn't use any pedals just because I didn't even have the amp that I wanted. We were at the studio way out in the country,
yeah,
and I was like, huh, this is like the sound that it's funny too because it's sort of the sound that I started with when I was in my early 20s, and even before, where I, coming out of New Orleans and being really influenced by Steve Mazikowski and
right,
Peter Bernstein and those type of people. And then I sort of almost, as you go through life and there's a lot of pressure to sort of this is the sound that people want. So I feel like I
right.
kind of added on some bells and whistles that I didn't really need. And now I've kind of come back. I'm like, because when we were doing way back, I was like, hey, that's the sound I used to get. Like that sounds pretty good. Maybe I should. And what am
Yeah,
I
I mean,
doing?
listen, I was again, I mean, it sounded like, I was delighted what I was listening to. I mean, the tone is
Yeah.
and your playing is great. I mean, I hear hints of like Bill Makowski said, there's some Pat Martino-ish
Of
stuff
course.
going on.
Yeah.
And I
Love
also
it.
hear a little bit of I hear a little bit of Pat Metheny in there.
I love Matheny too. I mean, those are like my early influences too, especially
Yeah.
like Question and Answer. Bright Size Life and Question and Answer are my two like
Yeah, I hear just a little bit of
favorites.
some of the lines, just easy bit, just like not like a copy, but just like maybe an influence. But you're playing really really well. I mean, it's you're almost too nice a guy to play that well. It's
Oh
like
yeah. Well, you
you.
don't know me that well. You don't know. I'm nice in these interviews. Ask
Fair,
my students. No.
fair enough. Fair enough. Um, but I mean, it's like it's great stuff, and my hat's off to everybody involved in the project because you can feel the love in it because you can't do a project that's as put together as this, without everybody just totally dedicated to it, totally into it, and that's how it comes across. I mean, hopefully that's the way it was in real time, but.
Yeah, it felt really easy because we know each other. I mean, you're getting a little older. I've been making these records with John Ellis since like we did one in 2007. I've
Yeah.
been Matt Closey since like post Katrina when I was living in New York. It's you learn how to play with people, And Perez Cisneros, who engineered, he's worked with all of us a million times. I should shout out the studio too, the Big Orange Sheep in Brooklyn, which unfortunately I think has closed. We were like one of the last projects, but Chris Benham, who a great drummer who I used to play with in New York, who owns that studio. Hopefully he'll have another one. I don't know what his plans are, but it's a great studio in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, that unfortunately has closed, but really great space.
I was just going to ask you, where was the studio? I thought maybe it would be down in Texas, for ease of. Uh,
Well, most of people live in New York,
yeah.
and I mean we have great studios here too. I mean, actually, it is logistically it's cheaper to record for me to go to New York and
Oh
record
yeah, then to
than
bring everybody
anybody here.
down. No.
And I maintain my New York ties. Like I go up and do this Smalls thing usually once a year. Sometimes I'll go up another time, but I'm super busy with
Yeah.
this job and here at UNT and kids and
This
youth
job, this
hockey
job
and
running the guitar department at UNT, right?
and I'm done with my sabbatical, so I'm back. I was off last semester. I was writing a new Mel Bay book that maybe we'll talk about at some point. It hasn't
Yeah,
come out
hopefully we
yet,
will.
but now I'm back in the saddle, and it's a lot.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Well, listen, I appreciate it. It's a great record. Let's talk about it just a little bit. So
Mhm.
It's on Sunnyside.
Sunnyside, yes,
All right, it's on
Sunnyside
Sunnyside Records. It's your sixth
Mhm.
record for them.
For them,
And
yeah.
let's go through the personnel again.
So we got John Ellis on. He plays some soprano and tenor sax and bass clarinet. I always like to take advantage of his amazing bass clarinet
Yeah, I was going to ask, is
abilities.
that a baritone sax or what was that thing, And
That's
there's a
yeah.
bass clarinet. Okay.
Yeah, and Matt Closey on bass, Glenn Zaleski on piano, and then Ko plays drums and tabla on a few tunes,
Yeah, I heard that. It
and
was
me on guitar.
Well, it's a beautiful recording and it's there's no egos involved. It's just great music and this is a good one to get and throw on and just enjoy. So it's available everywhere music is sold and enjoyed.
Streamed.
Um, and listen, we appreciate you, man. I mean, you've been one of our contributors here at Jazz Guitar Today since like the beginning.
It's been a lot. I realized the other day I was going back through them. I think it's going on like 4 years of me cranking out almost every 2 weeks.
You've
I
been
missed a
crank
couple.
You've been cranking them out, and we
How the hell
listen.
I do
I'm
it?
telling you, we appreciate it. We really do. And
I enjoy it.
people, people know. I mean, people, they know. I mean, they pay attention to it. So it's
Yeah, like all prospective students, they see those videos. Like
yeah.
that's more than the records I put out. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah." And they see it's funny, they come in this office and they see the same backdrop and they're like, "Wow. That's your videos." It cracks me up, because
Well, that's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your time today, and good luck on this recording. I hope you, I hope you. I don't want to say sell a million of them, but I hope you sell a million of them. And I just want people to hear your music. I just really do. I want them to hear because this is new stuff. This is we're pushing the edges. My buddy Fareed Haq, who I know you know.
Yeah.
We get into conversations about who's pushing the music, who's pushing the music, and not just playing standards and okay, now it's your turn to solo.
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of those projects. I mean, this is definitely pushing things forward and in a way that pays homage to the tradition. Like you said, no pedals. And are you using 12s on that guitar or 13s or what?
They're 11s.
Oh, I love you. You're
Yeah,
my
as
new
I get
you're my
older,
new
I
you're my new best friend because this sucker's got 12s on it. It is a hoss to play.
yeah, I
Um,
spend so many hours here in this chair. Like right now,
yeah.
my hand is kind of killing me because I'm back teaching, and
Yeah.
I don't want to get injured.
I I got I got nines on my telly. Never
Hmm.
thought I would do that. I got nines on my Strat. I got tens on the I-35,
Yeah.
And then
Uh-huh.
on the big jazz boxes, they're 12s on there. And man, they sound great when you hit them. When I can hit the notes, like they sound great. But man, 11s make it so much easier.
Yeah,
And
I think in jazz guitar, there's a little bit of a almost like a macho thing with the string gauge.
I can't
It's
do
like
all that.
hockey players not using the visor, and then they get hit with a puck and they're out
Yeah,
for like weeks.
Well, BB King used eights, and now I understand that what's his name from ZZ Top is down to sevens.
Are you saying Billy Gibbons or whatever?
Billy Gibbons used, I mean, I don't, I have no idea how that works, but it
Jim
does
Hall
for
used
him.
pretty light strings, I think, too, right? I
Pardon
don't
me?
think Jim Hall. I think Jim Hall used a lighter gauge too.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Well, um, you know,
I'm not ashamed. Like I
I'm
said, I
not
don't care
either.
anymore.
I'm gonna go to 11s on this because I just can't deal with it. It's just too much
Uh,
to
well,
deal
I
with.
give you permission. I want to provide a permission structure
I think. Thank you
for
very
your
much.
choices.
Well, Davey, thank you. Bob Bakert for Jazz Guitar today. Please like, share, follow, tell all your friends. I had a bit of a health issue for the whole year of 2024, and I'm back. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of me than you have for a while. And we're excited. We're enthusiastic about what's going on. Take care, everybody. Davey, thank you, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
Bob.
All right. Bye bye now.
Bye.